Hey guys. So what we're going to be doing now is we are still going to be graphing, okay? And we are going to be doing some very similar stuff to what we did with exponentials and logs, all right? But we're going to be doing it to what we're going to call like the 9 basic shapes, okay? And what we're going to do today is just I'm going to review what the basic shapes are, okay? And most of them you're familiar with, some of them you're not going to be. All right, and there's 9 of them. Um, you can see here that if you look at number 5, 2 to the x, we just did, that's an exponential. 7 log base 2 of x, that's a log we just did. All right, there's other stuff, some of them you've seen, some might not have, but we're just going to review what the basic shape, what the basic look of them is. All right, and then normally what would happen if we were in school, I would do this like for part of the class, and then the beginning of the next day, I would give you like a pop quiz real quick to see if you can be able to graph all 9 of these. Okay. Then what we'll do next class is we will then do the same sort of transformation, slides and flips that we did with exponentials and logs, which you'll still have some of those, that we're going to do with these types of shapes. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of the same things where, shifting to the right, left, up and down, flipping vertically, flipping horizontally. So if you had a good grasp of the exponentials logs, this should be pretty easy for you. Then once, you know, we'll do that. Then we'll finish up with our last thing, which would be like more stuff with logs, but more algebra stuff based, not graphing. Okay. So I'm going to go through and just show you review these. And really your only assignment today is to watch this video and to memorize the basic shapes. All right. Nothing really to submit except for to watch this video. Okay. All right. So y equals x. All right. Y equals x. All right. This is a linear function. All right. This is linear. All right. I know it's linear because the power of x is just 1. All right. So this is just a line in this case. All right. It is, no, this is supposed to be a line, but you guys get the idea. It's a line going through the origin. Okay. Domain and range for both of these are from negative infinity to infinity. There is no restrictions on any of this. All right. Negative infinity to infinity. So hopefully that's a nice easy one. Graphing a line. Okay. All right. Now, y equals the absolute value of x. All right. This is an absolute value function. All right. So this is an absolute. All right. This is an absolute value. All right. An absolute value graph looks like a V, right? That's supposed to be a straight line. That's a straight line. All right. Now, the domain of this is negative infinity to infinity. The range of this is not that. It's what? 0, but it can be 0, right? So we put a bracket around that. It's 0 to infinity. All right. So that's what absolute value graphs look like in V. Linear graphs, obviously, or a line. All right. Now, this is one thing we haven't done much of, which is y equals x cubed. This is a cubic function. All right, this is a cubic function, obviously because it's x cubed. This looks like an S-curve, all right? So kind of goes like this, and then goes like that, all right? Passes through the origin, all right? We'll talk more about next class about graphing these. This point here is 1, 1. This point here is negative 1, 1. So looks like that. So domain and range for both of these are going to be from negative infinity to infinity. All right. So what you need to know is you need to know that x cubed graphs have a cubic function. That they're an S curve. Okay. And, you can see if we flip things, maybe if we had a negative somewhere, maybe it looks like that. If we had a +2 here, it moves everything up 2. If we had something in there with the x, we're shifting it left and right. And that's what we're going to get into next after, tomorrow or Thursday, whatever that may be. Okay. Let's just slide this down so we can see. All right. Y equals x squared. You guys should know this one. This is a parabola. All right. This is a quadratic function. All right. Quadratic. So this is a parabola going through the origin. All right. 0, 0. So this has a domain of negative infinity to infinity. And the range of this one is from 0 to infinity. Just like an absolute value, it's actually graphed very similar to an absolute value. All right. All right. This should be a piece of cake. Y equals 2 to the x. This is an exponential function. All right. This has a horizontal asymptote. And the basic shape has it going like this. All right. On this sheet, it says you don't have to worry about any points, but you guys know that it's 0, 1, and 1 comma the base. So in this case, it would be 1 comma 2. You also should know that the domain is always negative infinity to infinity. And for the basic shape, the range is 0 with a parentheses, not a bracket, to infinity. All right. All right. Y equals the square root of x. I don't think we've done this this year. This is obviously a square root function. All right, square root function. What this looks like is basically when we get into graphing these, we're going to talk about like starting points. It's basically half of a like sideways parabola. In this case, it's going to start at 0, 0 and just goes like that. All right, that is what the square root function looks like. All right, so the domain and range are a little bit different for this one because domain, obviously, there's nothing here. And why is that? Because you can't have a negative, because if a negative in there, it's imaginary. It can be 0, so it is a bracket. So it's 0 to infinity. The range, you're not going to get the square root. It's not going to give you a negative number. So that's also going to be from 0 to infinity. It's a big bracket, sorry. All right, so basic shape of a square root is that. Obviously, you can start to think, well, what if there was a negative in front here? That would flip it. It would look like that. A negative here, a negative inside the x, could flip it like this. We can slide it around, and that's what we're going to do with all these graphs. All right, all the same stuff we do with exponentials, we're going to do with all this other stuff. All right, 7, log base 2. All right, so we just did these on your quiz. So this has a vertical asymptote, and it looks something like that. You know, don't write the points here, but normally it would be 1, 0, and the base comma 1, which would be 2 comma 1. Your domain for this one is not negative infinity to infinity. It's from 0 to infinity, but your range is from negative infinity to infinity. All right. Y equals 3. What does y equals 3 look like? This is a constant function. All right. This is a constant function. All right. Obviously, this is a log. I should know that. Logarithmic, I should say. So a constant. Well, y equals 3 is just a horizontal line going through 3. All right. In this case, this would be 3. If it was negative 3, you put it down here. It's just a horizontal line going through that. So the domain is everything, negative infinity to infinity. And the range is just 3. So you put 3 in brackets. All right. Y equals 1 over x. This is a rational function. All right. This is rational. We graphed rationals before. I actually think it was like the first thing that we did on distance learning, home instruction, whatever you want to call this. All right. And we had a vertical asymptote at 0. We have a horizontal asymptote at 0. And we have a curve here. And we have a curve there. All right. And that was the basic shape of a rational function. All right. So this is from negative infinity to 0, right? Union, because we have a vertical asymptote there, 0 to infinity. And the range is the exact same thing. All right. And there we go. Okay. So these are the 9 basic shapes. So you want to do is you want to be able to look at these and know exactly what the graph basic shape should look like. So linear obviously is a line, absolute value is a V, cubic is an S curve, quadratic is a parabola, exponential has a horizontal asymptote and it looks like this. All right. Square root function is on its, parabola on its side is only 1/2 of it. All right. Looks like that. A log has a vertical asymptote and goes like that. Constant, y equals number, is a horizontal line, and a rational has a vertical and horizontal asymptote and two curves, one on the right and one on the left. Right? And those are the basic shapes. Right? And we will talk. So your assignment is just memorize these. So you need to be able to look at it, know what it is. We will then work on the transformations that are going to be very similar, all the same slides and flips, like I said before, that we did with exponentials and logs. We are going to do with all of these. All right. So make sure you have these studied. Like I said, if this was we were normally in school, I'd be giving you a pop quiz tomorrow on all of these, and it would be a blank copy of this like worksheet, and you'd be doing it. Hence why it says pop quiz basic shape note sheet. All right. I hope all is well. If you guys have any questions, please reach out, and I'll be talking to you soon.